Hey, Desties and Bride friends. It is day 3 of the I'm a Desti Marathon, which means that you're here to find out how this right here, how this Desti bride planned her destination wedding. And I am Omi Allen, hostess of the Desti Guide to Destination Weddings podcast, also now known as Desti TV. Y'all like my TV? Because we're here on YouTube and I'm bringing every single episode of the podcast to YouTube. Yes, I'm bringing every single episode from season 1 right here for you up until season 2 starts. So season 2 starts on January 1st, 2019. And until then, every single day for the rest of December, I'll be bringing you brand new episodes. So today, I have Desti Chevita. And this is actually part 1 of our 2-part interview. Chevita was absolutely amazing. We talked for so long. When I say that we have Desti Chat and we talk about what works and what doesn't work when planning a destination wedding, this is like the epitome of that. We spoke for 2 hours basically. But it was such great stuff, and I had to split it into 2 episodes, so you will get those. So this is part 1. Chevita got married in Nassau, Bahamas, and she planned her destination wedding in 90 days. So yes, we can do this. You can do this. No matter where you're getting married, you will absolutely positively get something out of all of my interviews, but especially this one. So make sure that you listen. And if you have any questions, as usual, leave them in the comments. And also, if you're planning a Desti wedding right now, leave me a comment below with hashtag I'm a Desti and let me know where you're getting married and when you're getting married so I can continue to bring great advice and tips so that you can plan that Desti wedding of your own. So yes, as usual, all photos and details are waiting for you over at Destiland. The link is in the description below. Chevita, thank you so very much for everything that you've done. I swear we spoke about it and you guys are here about it. We talked about getting you back on, so we're going to talk about getting you back on this show. So yes, we talk about everything. I split it into 2 episodes. This is part 1 of my interview with Chevita. Again, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below because I'm stalking them. Yeah, so make sure that you subscribe and ding that button so that you'll know about every new episode. It will be you and me every single day planning your destination wedding. I should make that a little jingle. You and me planning your destination wedding every single day. All right, so you guys have a great day. Enjoy this interview, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, Desties and Bride friends. Today we have a Desti who had her destination wedding in Nassau, Bahamas. I'd like to introduce you all to the beautiful Mrs. Chevita Pfeiffer Stewart, and I cannot wait to show you her photos. Like, I'm so in love with her. I'm kind of fanning out right now, but she is it. Like, for real, you're about to see it. I'm really excited about this. So, hi, Chevita.
Hi, I'm so excited that you're so enthusiastic about it. I mean, when I was planning my wedding, I literally engaged every person that I worked with. They were like, even if they didn't want to help me plan a wedding, they were helping me. So I understand your enthusiasm. I was there, and it's fun to kind of relive everything that I went through.
Were you the one that when people say, hey, how are you? You just start talking about the wedding? Like, nobody asked you?
I'm like, hey guys, yeah, I'm fine. So yeah, can you tell me what your wedding menu was again? Did people like that?
Yes, well, obviously, yeah. I think that's me kind of times a million because I've decided to start a podcast so I can just talk about wedding planning all day, every day. So yeah, I can completely relate. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining. And I guess my real question, what made you decide on a destination wedding?
I decided to do a destination wedding because we live in Los Angeles and I went to high school and college in New Orleans, and my husband is from Baton Rouge. My parents now live in Atlanta. We have family all over. He has family in New York. We have family, and my maternal side of my family lives in South Carolina. So if we were to ask everyone to fly to a wedding in either New Orleans or Louisiana, because that's where a lot of our people are, there will
Right.
be some people that will still have to travel there. If
Right.
we had a wedding in LA, some people will have to travel to LA. So I felt like if we wanted it, if people were going to have to travel anyways, and we wanted it to be a vacation of some sort, and the Bahamas is close enough that the flight's not super expensive. It just seemed like it made sense. And LA would have been more expensive for people to fly there and stay in a hotel and rent a
Right.
car. So it just seemed like it made more sense. And we were also able to, by selecting a destination wedding, you can invite every single person you know, and they're not going to come. So, so you kind of you still maintain the grace and elegance of sending them the invitation, and but you can keep your head count low, and the people that are the most dear to you will likely make it. There were some people that just couldn't make it, and
Yeah.
we understand that, especially because we didn't give many people, we didn't give them a huge, like, year or 6 months advance notice of the wedding. So, but I guess we'll probably talk about that too.
Yeah. So let's rewind for a second. So I'm kind of curious about the idea of, like, you're kind of gambling by sending invitations. Like, how many invitations did you send?
I think we sent like 80 invitations out.
Okay. And
Yeah. And so, okay, but
it
some
was
of
like,
those
were the people
invitations,
that you knew weren't gonna
I
come?
didn't even, yeah, and some of those people I sent the invitations to, my husband didn't know, I didn't know, but his mom knew. It was like
Ah,
some of that. So those people are definitely not about to fly to the Bahamas for our wedding. They might be happy,
for the
second sister's,
invitation.
exactly. But, um, yeah, so we just knew that we got officially engaged in February, and then our wedding was in May. So that doesn't really
Oh,
give people
of the
that.
same year?
Yeah. So it
Oh,
was basically like 90 days.
wow. Yes,
But
you okay.
but I say officially because, I mean, we have a daughter. We had already been living together, and we knew that we were going to get married. So, and we had already talked about it being a spring destination wedding. So it wasn't,
Yeah, like, why
to
wait a whole
us.
year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that's the thing. Depending upon the destination, you're also you're relegated to certain dates because of hurricane season. So we
Mhm.
would have had to wait another year to, if we wanted to have the destination wedding. So we gave some friends a heads up, like, hey, we're gonna be getting married. We don't know exactly when, but it'll be around this time. And most of your close friends, they'll believe you. Some people will be like, yeah, whatever, until it's on Facebook, y'all aren't engaged or whatever. And in this day and age, Facebook does kind of make things official. So,
Right. Do that
so
status change?
right, engaged. then you get like a million likes.
So you sent 80 invitations, and how many people actually ended up coming?
There were 30 people that included me, my husband, our daughter, and then our closest friends. But I had like a million bridesmaids. They all came, and my husband, he didn't even have the same amount of groomsmen, but that didn't matter to me because
Right,
I
yeah.
didn't want him to feel like he had to ask a whole bunch of people just to match
Have them
my.
standing there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense. So our wedding was really one of those weddings where the majority of the people there were actually in the wedding. So,
Really? Like, how
um,
many bridesmaids?
I had, I think, 8 bridesmaids, and he had, I think, 4 groomsmen. I'll have to count everybody up. But one of my bridesmaids, she didn't stand up, because she forgot her dress. She left her dress in the car in the airport at her. I know. So she was really, really upset, but I wasn't that upset because she was there. Like, it didn't really, and she still took pictures with us,
Wow.
um,
I have to look.
but
Now you have me want to look at your photos a little closer.
Yeah,
because
you'll see one person that has on a different colored dress, like
and those
uh,
dresses were beautiful. Oh, I know she was mad because
oh
those were
yeah,
yeah.
she was so upset. She even like drove around the island like trying to find a similar dress because it was like one of those wrap style dresses. So
Yeah.
she could have found one maybe, but at the end of the day, she was there to celebrate. We had a ball. I
Okay.
hope I'm answering all your questions.
You
Let me
were.
see. So I had one matron of honor, and then I had two maids of honor. This is like how ridiculous I am. Like if we're friends, like I'm asking you to be,
In
because
my wedding.
I don't like those ones where, and I don't want to. I'm gonna be giving a lot of information that is how I personally feel. Is I don't want to offend your audience.
Yes,
If
we do
that's
not get offended here. This is
okay.
specifically to hear your thoughts and to share your experiences. So give it up.
Okay. So if we're friends and you feel like you want to ask me to be in your wedding, but for whatever reason, there you only wanted to have three people in your pictures, or your husband only has three people, so you have to dwindle down your close friend list to like the people that I don't know that it just, I didn't want that. Like, if we were friends and I wanted you to be in my bridal party and sharing that experience with me, even if we were friends for 10 years or friends for 2 years, I wanted you to be there with me and experience that. And I wanted it to be an inclusive experience, because I do find that often, especially for brides that come from the southern region of the United States, it's like, it's an honor if you have shared experiences with your friend to then be asked to be, part of her bridal party for that special day. And so I've seen feelings get hurt because, I thought we were friends, but you didn't ask me to be a bridesmaid. So I didn't
Yeah.
want that at all.
So
I
let
wanted
me
everything to
ask
be
you.
happy.
Okay, so before you finish with the bridesmaid, the numbers, like I guess it's more. How did you feel? Did you feel any type of way about asking them to be your bridesmaids, even though they're already like having to pay the expense to come to your destination wedding? Like, was that something that you
Yeah,
struggled with at all?
I did. That's why I tried to make I did, only thing I had them do was get a dress. Like, in the dress, I got it from Etsy, so I think it was less than $100.
Okay.
Um, and I said, do your hair however you want. Do you wear whatever shoes you want, whatever color nail polish. I wanted them to only have the expense of the flight, the hotel, and the dress.
Okay.
Everything else, I covered their makeup, and they were responsible for their hair. So however they wanted to roll out of bed, as long as they had that dress, they were
Right.
good to go.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
so it was, to be a Chevita Stewart bridesmaid only meant that you had to spend, I think, $80 if you weren't already planning on coming to the wedding. So if you were coming to the wedding, you were going to pay for your flight anyways and your hotel anyway. So the only extra cost to be one of my bridesmaids was the money for the dress.
gotcha. Okay. Okay. And I guess so. You had your matron of honor, your two matron of honor. Would you have?
I had two maids of honors, Crystal and Candace, and then I had a matron of honor, Danielle. She was married, and I had my friend and line sister Essence, and then my friend Khadijah. That's the one that forgot her dress, so she didn't like walk down the aisle, but she took a lot of pictures. And then I had one of my close colleagues and friend, Tara, and I had my high school friend Ashley, and I had my sister-in-law Jasmine.
Oh,
I had everybody. I had Pookie in them.
okay.
I had everybody as in the wedding party.
That's great though. That's fine. I'm glad that you did it how you wanted to, and you definitely still thought about the fact that they were coming for your wedding. So that's always good. So that's a great
Yeah.
tip for us, for sure.
Oh, and I had my line sister friend Wesley as well. I'm like, I don't want to forget anybody because it was a whole bunch of people. I'm sorry, Wesley. Let's delete all the name parts. Let's not.
Too late. Nope. Sorry, Wesley. No love lost, of course. Okay, so you picked. Had you been to the Bahamas before?
It was my first international trip as an adult. I went on a sorority conference,
Go ahead and shout
and
that sorority out. Go ahead and shout that sorority out.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. In 2005, I went to the Bahamas, and I was like, this place is amazing. I don't know, it obviously left an impact on me to want to have my wedding there, 10 years later. So, and it was just so close to the US, but felt so warm and just loving. It was awesome. Except for my friend that's Jamaican. She always hates on the Bahamas and says it's basically the US. She's like, that's not the Caribbean, that's the US. She always hates on them.
I have heard that. Yeah, I have heard that.
But when I tell you, everybody was like, and people say this to people brides all the time, but they don't perpetuate it years and years later by saying that they had the best time ever. They're like, Chevita, this was like the best wedding that I've ever been to. I think because it was so intimate and because we had so much fun, and there was an open bar too. So
yeah, that's always helpful.
Yeah.
So, when you were planning the wedding, did you go there ahead of time, or how did you?
No, I didn't for a few reasons. One, I'm lying. I'm totally lying. Okay. I went the year before our wedding, and that's when I
Before
wasn't
you
even
knew that you were
engaged.
getting right, you weren't even engaged
Yeah,
yet.
I wasn't engaged, but I was like, listen, we're gonna get married. It's probably gonna be in the Bahamas, but let me just go check it out. And my friends like, oh, we want to go on a trip. So I'm like, let's just go to the Bahamas because I'll probably be getting married next year, and I want to check it all out. And they're like, whatever, okay, we'll go. Like, whether or not I was gonna get married or not. So I did a lot of recon. I looked at, a lot of hotels and stuff a year before, but my husband had never been. So yes, there were those times where people were like, "You're doing all this wedding stuff. Does Leon even know that you're even talking about this?" And I'm like, "Yes, he does. I swear he knows. I know I look like a psycho right now because I'm not officially engaged, but he knows."
Right. Did you go wedding dress shopping before you got engaged too?
Let me think. Did
Oh,
I?
okay.
It it could have been. It could have been. Well, actually, to be completely honest, the first time that I went wedding dress shopping was when I was pregnant in 2011. So I had my daughter in 2012. So I was like we were considering like doing like a shotgun type of thing.
Okay.
So that's the first time I ever went wedding dress shopping. And then we were like, no, this is not meant for us. Let's just wait it out. So we waited and waited. And then in 2015, so I went wedding dress shopping in the early part of 2015. I just can't remember. I'm pretty sure I was officially engaged when I did it, and I bought my dress from a sample sale place. So that like if you like the dress, you better buy it because they don't have other ones.
Right. Were you in LA at the time?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to jump over. I don't
Right.
want to jump to a different topic. So
Right.
I'm bad. You might have to keep me on topic. I'm really, really bad.
I got you. We could do this. So,
Okay.
okay, while we're in the dress land still, did you no, your gown is amazing. And you have two gowns, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
but now before you go there, hold on. When you were thinking of the gown and choosing your gown, did you kind of pick your venue first and then just try to find like a destination wedding friendly dress, or did you just wear the dress that you wanted to wear and didn't really think about it that much?
Okay, so because I went to the Bahamas the year before, I had my top two venues. So that may have played in the back of my mind as I was looking for dresses. But I think to be completely honest, I just went with the dress that I really wanted because so many people saw my dress and they were like, Chevita, you're getting married in the Bahamas. But they didn't see my vision. So
Right.
they still had the vision of why don't you have a flowy dress?
Right.
And like some sandals. Like, why do you have this legitimate wedding dress? but they didn't, because they had not experienced destination weddings, or they had only seen a few that, were more like you wear like a white dress and you just say I do. They didn't know that I was really going for the formal look. So everyone told me, except for like my closest, they're like, you should get a different dress, or yeah, I love that dress, but are you going to be comfortable in the Bahamas in that dress? So that was,
Right.
so I just went with the one that I really, really wanted.
So, and speaking of people giving their opinions, when you said that you were planning your destination wedding, did you have any pushback or any problems
Oh my
about it?
God. Everybody has something to say about, people just don't want to go to a destination wedding. Like,
But then
once
when they
they're there,
get there, yeah,
exactly, they have a ball. But they're like, wait, I gotta get my passport. Okay, yes you do, but you should probably already have
have that
one.
anyway. Yeah.
So, and like, I had some friends, because we got engaged in February and then got married in May. I had a lot of people that said, not a lot, I had a few people that said, well, if I go on a destination type of event, I'm used to having a payment plan set up so that I can put my payments towards the wedding.
Right. Have
I'm
more
not
time.
have more. They wanted it to be spread out so that it could be more affordable. And I was not about that life. I was
Right.
like, listen, we're doing the Bahamas. I looked at all the prices, the flights. The most expensive flight may have been $400 to $500, but those were the flights where people wanted like a nonstop flight. Like, if you wanted the cheapest flight, you could have got a $300 flight. So it wasn't like the flights were super outrageous,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like, $100 flight. So there were a few $100s being spent on the flight. The hotel, I think I even got like a cheaper rate with the hotel. So the hotel was like in the $100-ish amount each night. So I tried my best to make it affordable, because I knew that those were going to be a lot of gripes. Like, we can't afford this, or we want to go, but it's cost prohibitive. So I was like, no, it's really not.
Right. Uh, so, did the people that, like, how did you handle the people who just didn't come or couldn't come? Were your feelings hurt, or were you just like, whatever? Or...
See, I think when you're put in a situation, my feelings weren't hurt. That's the short answer. I was like, all right, that's
Okay.
next. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is okay. Because if it was like my mom, okay, there was one person where I was like, oh man, I wish that they could go. My husband's father, I wish that he would have been able to go, but it wasn't because of the location or anything like that. It was because he had to take care of a sick relative.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the only person. But outside of that, I mean, my grandma came. She got her passport like a couple of days before her flight, so she pushed it to
Oh,
the limit. Um, my cousins came. One of my uncles came. My parents were there. I felt like I was really represented. My husband's closest people were there too. So I I maybe would have had different feelings if some of the people that were there didn't show up. Then might have been like, oh man, I'm sad. But the people that I really wanted to be there were there. And they had already been hearing me talk for probably a year or so. Like, we're getting married, so y'all better be like, don't act surprised. Do not act surprised when I say the wedding is in May.
well, that's good. You were able to get the good, the people that could come. So
Yeah.
that's always great. And then you just seem to be pretty strong with just, okay, if you can't come, you can't come. And if you don't like my dress, I don't care. And if you don't see what I see, oh well. So that's a good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let me see. So my friend Candace, so here's what I did. I didn't ask everybody for their opinion about the dress. Like, I asked Wesley, I asked Candace, and I think I asked Crystal or whatever. And so I had to like limit the amount of people, or else it might have made me go a little bit nuts if everybody would have
Too
given
many
me their opinion.
opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one dress that I tried on, and I was like, Candace, I love this dress. It's amazing. And she was like, you look like a doily. You will not wear that in the even the lady in the bridal store was like so mad. She was like, "This is her wedding. She can wear whatever she wants." And like
You
she
can't
can't
tell
match
her.
that dress. And so I think but I'm very happy with the Lazaro gown that I wore. And I don't even remember the name of that other dress, but I felt like, it could have gone either way, but I think the Lazaro one was, to me, like, it was amazing.
Yeah, I love Lazaro. I actually met Lazaro when I was looking for my wedding gown.
But
And he is so perfect in person. It's crazy. Like, he's beautiful. He just
did,
is.
did you meet him in New York? Did you do like the say yes to the dress thing?
Not. I went to Atlanta, so home is Atlanta for me,
Oh, okay.
and the Bridals by Lori is the same. It's the Say Yes to the Dress
Oh, yes,
Atlanta,
yes,
and I
yes.
wasn't on the show or nothing like that. But as soon as I walked in and the elevator doors open, he's standing right there, and he just like greeted me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "Hello, I am Lazaro. I know who you are. You don't have to tell me." So yeah, yes, I loved him. And I'm not going to say what my gown is right now because
Yes.
my fiance is my biggest fan. But yes, I do love him and he's great. So
I'm glad. I'm glad that you got to meet him. I wish that I would have had. I'm not going to say I felt robbed because I did go into like a legit. Okay, the place I went to was Glamour Closets. Yes, it's a legit bridal store, but they sell the sample sale, so it's like a little bit of a different experience.
yeah,
It's like not like the whole we're going to try to wow you. It's like, look, these dresses are deeply discounted, so you take it or leave it. We don't really care.
right. Because someone
Whereas
else
the
is going to take it. So get it.
right. Whereas the other places, they're like, have a seat. Tell us your deepest fantasy of your wedding or whatever.
Right.
And then you leave like paying like for a small car,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I did meet Lazaro though. So that's the
Exactly.
highlight.
So
I got a
that's
picture.
the right. So those are the things that I was like thinking, that would have been cool, but we were on such a tight budget that it just wasn't. It just didn't make sense for. I mean, because there was another dress that I saw that was in downtown LA, like the fashion district, that was
Yeah.
like $400. And when I tell you, because they do like knockoff dresses in downtown LA, when I tell you I see that dress on everybody, I'm so glad I didn't get it.
Yeah.
My friend does pageants, and she was like, "Oh, we could make this dress look amazing or whatever," and everyone loved it too. It just was a completely different look, a lot more simple, and I've seen that dress
A
over and over.
zillion times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your budget. What was your budget?
I said that our budget was $10,000. But then when I did all the numbers, we ended up spending, including the price of my dress, we ended up spending, and the flights and everything, we ended up spending $17,000.
Okay.
So I don't really know if I failed or not, because I don't know if I should have included the price of my dress and the flights and the hotel,
Yeah, I think that that's like the better way to do it, and that's why I do like to ask that question. And some people are, they're nervous about it, but I think that's just really helpful for us because I'm realizing that when planning and when you see people's, well, no one really shares their budget that much, but they don't include those things, but that costs money and that's a
right,
wedding expense. So it's important to just know with everything because you end up with these budget spreadsheets that don't have everything in it, and then you have all these other crazy costs. It's like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, what about that? So that's, yeah, I think that, yeah, thanks for sharing that and, bringing that point out because I don't think I've ever brought that point up before, but it's everything.
it's
It makes sense to
everything.
be aware of, yeah.
It's everything. And when you're on a tight budget, like, I'll go back to the budget part and the stuff that we spent the money on. But the one thing that I was disappointed in myself was because we were on such a tight budget. When it came to the makeup artist, I don't even remember if I tipped them because we were like, I was like, oh, I'll, message them back or send them like tip money, a week after the wedding or something. And I don't think I ever did. And I always
Well,
think about that.
you
Like,
should reach out and send them a little something.
I know.
Hey, because your photos, they did it. So, how did you vendors? I guess we're kind of slowly we're getting there. So with vendors, how did you pick your people? So starting with makeup, since that's there, how did you find your makeup artist?
Makeup artist, my sister-in-law had been to a wedding in the Bahamas several years earlier, and she saw someone's makeup, so she recommended one of the makeup artists from social media like Instagram or Facebook. And then I just looked up some other makeup artists in the Bahamas. And
Did you
so I
just like
picked,
look at reviews or?
I only looked at their pictures on social media.
See,
Um,
social media is really big.
yeah, I think I did like hashtag makeup artist like MUA Bahamas. And they know what the hustle is, so they post their pictures so that they get the destination brides.
Right. And it looks like this is Candace Bain. Is that right?
Yeah,
Fab Faces
yeah,
MUA.
she did one, and it was three makeup.
Sarsha Taylor. Okay, I'll add all of these to the show notes. Looks like it's Candace. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
Sarsha,
Sarshay, and then Lucy Liu.
yeah,
Looks like.
yeah. So they all did the makeup. The only thing is, can I say something that won't be? I'm not even gonna say it.
No. Can you? Hey, we all need to know what we need to expect and what we should and shouldn't be doing and all that good stuff. So
I hate that I had 3 different makeup artists, but the person I loved my makeup, but the person that I actually loved some of my bridesmaids' makeup more than I loved mine. So I was like, did I just like play myself a little bit?
now, yeah, what made you have so many different makeup artists too? That was going to be a question for me.
Because I didn't want one person trying to do a million people's makeup, because I did had all my bridesmaids' makeup done, plus my mom, my aunt, and my grandma, and my mother-in-law.
Okay.
So that was like too many people to have one person try to do like 15 people.
Right. Interesting. So they were kind of like competition to each other, and somebody just showed out a little extra than other
Right.
people.
Right. And it was maybe because I'm so used to like more of a fresher look. So I remember like looking in the mirror and like wiping some of it off. But I do that anyways. But I felt like I never. And these are the things when on your wedding day, you think it's going to be the best day of your life, but it's not until
No?
you're actually at the wedding. It's like the worst day of your life almost until like the actual wedding starts. Because at least for me, I'm like trying to juggle so many things in my brain. Like, okay, like, what do I want this to be? What do I want this? Like, it just was so overwhelming. And one of my friends actually said the same thing. She was like, this is like the worst day of my life.
So did you have a wedding planner?
I did, but because I'm so psycho and I wanted my hands involved in everything, I'm not going to say, okay, to say it was me and my friend were being overly ridiculous when we say it was the worst day, because it wasn't, but it was so much. It was just so much on our plates because I wanted it to be perfect, or how I felt perfect was on that day. And so for me to have to worry about like the makeup artist, looking at my hair, like, do I like my hair? Like my wedding planner.
How did you find your wedding planner?
I found her. I just Googled like Bahamas wedding planners, and the one that I had a little bit of experience working with, like we had corresponded back and forth. She wasn't available, and so this lady who I ended up engaging, she was the one that was available. So I had so it seems like for a lot of the things, like I had my top 2 wedding places. I had top 2 like wedding planners. So Anna Marie. I'm like, why do I not even remember my wedding planner's name? I think her name is
Anna May.
Okay.
May.
So Anna May, she did an amazing job because she went with us the day before she went with me and my matron of honor the day before and just walked through everything, and then drove us back to the hotel. And she had someone to do my hair, and he did an amazing job.
Yes, they did.
I think his name is Ashley. I think that was his name. The guy who did my hair. But I remember looking at my hair. He did it because I didn't have some of the things I had an amazing vision on, and some things I was like, I don't know, just make me look beautiful. And so when he did my hair, I was like, this is not. I don't like this. Doesn't even look like me. And so he like took it all down. He had like an updo thing, and he like took it all down. And I was like, let me just wear like loose like curls or whatever. And then it ended up being like perfect. At first it was too tight and I was like, what have I done? Like I literally remember looking at myself on my wedding day and being like, I don't feel like I look my 100% best. And that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
But as the day progressed, for whatever reason, I felt like I got like more beautiful. Like it was like they knew what they had to do. They had to cake on the makeup and make your hair super tight so that when it comes to the actual moment, it lasts. Because if you look your most beautiful at noon, but your wedding is like at 8 p.m., it's not gonna last.
Right. And if you think you're walking around like you normally do during the day, just walking around normally because you want to look your normal self, then you'll look like you just woke up in a few hours after. Yeah.
Yeah, and those little things are things that I didn't think about, because I just wanted to look like myself. So I'm so glad when I looked at my pictures. I'm so glad at the way I looked, and everyone kept saying in the night, like, you look so beautiful.
Yeah,
or whatever.
You did.
But it was because they knew. The experts knew what they were doing. Like he had to curl my hair super tight, or else I would have looked like a psycho.
Yeah, and then I'm sure it was humid and windy.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
It was May, so May 25th? What's your wedding?
May 24th.
May 24th. Mine is going to be the 27th. So, anyway.
Oh,
wow. Yay. But, okay, so, do you think... Yeah, well, actually, since we're in the beauty piece,
okay,
I think a big difference between having like a traditional wedding, say if you were to have gotten married in LA versus the Bahamas, is the makeup hair trial. You didn't get to do that. How do you kind of wish that you would have been able to do that, or are you? I guess in the end, it worked out wonderfully, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't the makeup trial. So that when we had our rehearsal dinner where we invited just everybody that was in the Bahamas that was coming to our wedding there, she did my makeup for that, and I was like, I don't even look like myself. So that's when I was like, oh crap, like, so I know. So then I told her, I said, I felt like it was a little bit too much. Can you like fix it? And she did. And I remember something else. There was something I had done, like maybe I got like a wax, something that I had like hurt my lip. And I think this is the real reason why I think this lady was sent to me, if you will, if you believe stuff like that. She had some amazing like lip conditioner because I was like, my lip is like messed up. It's gonna be my wedding day. Like, what the heck? And she put this like conditioner on my lip. And when I tell you, and I have really sensitive skin, so I might have just been having an allergic reaction. But my lips felt 100% better. So maybe that's the reason why she was sent to me.
Yeah, she was sent to you for your lip.
I know.
So you found you found your beauty people via social media, and your wedding planner you had just Googled basically to find.
Yeah. Yes, because she had a website, but it wasn't. I mean, there were not that many wedding planners there. So I was like, let me just talk to her. I think, but it also didn't matter to me as much because she had done a few weddings. I don't even know how many she had done, but her pictures looked nice. Mm-hmm. But I knew I was going to be hands-on. So as long as I had, like, she was the boots on the ground that I needed. So I would, ask her a few questions. She knew all the people that I had already been working with. I got the flower stuff on my own. So she just provided, like, she had someone that played the violin. So when I walked down the aisle, he played the violin. There were things that hair person that I needed, the cake for the rehearsal dinner. So stuff like that, vendors that I couldn't either get a hold of or needed a better price on. She was, instrumental in that.
And how did how did you guys communicate?
We communicated by phone. I guess people in the Bahamas have like a way to have a Miami phone number or a Fort Lauderdale phone number. So she had a local number that I was able to call and email too.
Did you do any Skype at all?
We didn't do any Skype. So when I saw her at the venue the day before the wedding, that was like my first time seeing her in person. It was like, we had corresponded between her and I don't know if I'm just different from other brides because maybe other brides only correspond with their wedding planner, but I corresponded with almost like the big vendors, like the floral
Yeah,
vendor.
we did too. Yeah, or
Yeah,
we currently do.
yeah,
We keep her in the mix so she knows what's going on,
yes,
and if we have like a problem with something, then we'll reach out to her to,
yes,
find us someone else, or is this normal, and can you get us a better price, which is usually
yes.
a no, but stuff like that. So
And I guess that's like layers to their packages almost. So maybe we would have, if she did have a package plan, which maybe she did, I don't remember anymore, we would have probably been more of like the base package where she mostly did the day of coordination and I did like a lot of the hands-on stuff.
gotcha. So what day of it was the 24th?
Sunday. We
Was
got
that
married on,
Memorial Day weekend at the
yeah,
time?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, what's this? So that was a Saturday that you got married. What day of the week
It
did
was
you get married?
Sunday. It was a Sunday. So we got the we
When did you
so
arrive and all that good stuff?
so most of my bridal party I'm sorry, someone's calling me. Most of my bridal party was in Miami on Friday for my bachelorette party. So from Miami, we flew to the Bahamas on Saturday, and then they had the rehearsal dinner, and then everybody went out except for me that night, and they said they had the time of their lives. But I was like, I need to sleep.
Yes.
And then the wedding was on Sunday, and I just woke up like so early, like 5 o'clock in the morning. Probably I went to sleep when everybody was out. I slept in the room with my parents. I think my daughter was in the room because I didn't even have my own room the first night because the hotel was booked, and one extra couple decided to come to our wedding, and so we gave up our room to them. So
Oh.
I slept on my pit. We gave up because they were like, we only need one. We don't have a room for just Saturday. They were like, you'll have a room on, your wedding day and stuff and every day after.
So did
So
they ask you to do that, or did you offer that? I'm just curious. How did that?
I offered because I was like, well, either they stay at this hotel or they will stay at it was like the Best Western across the street. The hotel, you know what?
Yeah.
The hotel thing is actually a totally different topic. Can I talk about that?
Please do.
So we were originally supposed to have all of our wedding parties stay at the Bahamas hotel, but that hotel never opened. So
You were gonna be one of the first people that.
yes, exactly.
Ooh.
And it was beautiful. If anybody want to look up that hotel in the resort, they have several hotels around there. Gorgeous hotel. They were giving us an amazing rate, like super low. And the hotel, I kept seeing in the news that the hotel was having problems. It wasn't going to open. Then maybe like 4 weeks before my wedding, like the hotel called me. They're like, listen, don't listen to the news. We're going to open, everything's scheduled on time. Like maybe 3 days later, they call me, hey, unfortunately, we're not going to be open.
And how close to your wedding is this at this point?
So this is like a little over 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm like, wait, Memorial Day weekend.
So everyone's already booked. Everyone's aware that they're. What?
Yeah. So everyone's already booked at this hotel, and I had signed a contract, and that was the best part about that situation. And because it was a Hyatt property, and so when they didn't open, they were in breach of the contract. So they paid me about $4,000
on top of what was already.
So we had not spent any money because it wasn't like they were giving us our money back and we hadn't even paid them anything, but because they breached a contract, they paid me $4,000. So that was just like extra money that I had, which for whatever reason, I guess I needed that money because I don't remember
you ended up
$4,000 at the end of the wedding. Like, because we would have, I don't know.
So it's 3 weeks before, and they're telling you that you can't have your wedding there. But all of your guests are already booked, but they didn't have to pay in advance. Like, did you do room blocks or?
Yeah, did
okay.
a block. did room blocks. Everyone provided their, I think, credit card or whatever, but I don't think they were
Right. They
charged.
just had to do a reservation, kind
Yeah.
of.
So
Wow. So then it's up to you to figure out, did they help you find another place
no,
or?
it's not. So then I was like, well, maybe I can get a good rate. I was like, maybe, the Hyatt can get me a rate at the one and only Ocean Club, the same rate that my guests were gonna pay. Because this hotel is like $500 a night, the one and only. I was like trying to figure out a way that my guests can get like an amazing hotel because of their mess up or whatever.
Right.
But we ended up doing the Comfort Suites, which was perfect because I had the year before I had gone to the Bahamas and I stayed at the Comfort Suites with my friends. And I feel like in the U.S., when you think of Comfort Suites, you're like, I would not want my wedding guests to stay there. But it's connected to the Atlantis. And so if you stay at the Comfort Suites, you get free breakfast, but you also get all the signing privileges and all of the privileges of the Atlantis. So you can have the pool. If you want to pay by, your room number, you can do that. And it's like a fraction of the cost. So I feel like if anybody's going to the Bahamas and they don't care about having an ocean view or whatever, then stay at the Comfort Suite to get all of the Atlantis privileges for a fraction of the cost. So that's where my guests stayed. There were a couple people that randomly came later on, like that stayed at the Atlantis. And one guy, he stayed at the Hilton. But for the most part, everybody was at the Comfort Suites.
Wow. So, and I'm still, you planned your wedding in basically 90 days.
Yeah.
And you had to like find a whole new hotel less than a month before your wedding.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you work, and not just work, but can you tell the people what you do?
I'm a lawyer, but
and a mother.
Yes, and a mother. But for whatever reason, like in that time of my life, like I was working for this firm and they engaged like a small team of people. So we had been there for a couple of years and we were working on this project. And maybe it was like a little bit slow during that time because we were like waiting to get something back from some panel of judges.
So it was a
So
good time for you
it
to
was
be
a
planning.
perfect time because we were all just, in the room getting some work done, but everyone had enough capacity to like tell me about their wedding experiences and what they liked about weddings and what they didn't like. And I took all that and ran with it.
That's crazy. That's crazy amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So, how did you, I don't know, keep your cool? Like, how were you able to, what advice can you offer me to
Okay.
keep my cool?
I'm going to try to tie my advice into the vendors. Okay. So I wanted like someone to do the calligraphy for my invitations, and because we were on a short time frame, and I guess calligraphers are like in high demand, I had to engage a vendor on Etsy that did the calligraphy, but she just did like the computer one, like digital calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I tried to, if I got a no as an answer, I tried to quickly find a way to get what I wanted, in a different path, like a different way. For our cake, I knew that we were on a budget, so we used a fake cake. So we cut into that tall tiered cake. It's really fake. They just have like a slit that we cut into, and then my wedding planner I told her the kind of cake I wanted, like a white cake with strawberries in the middle. So that was the cake that was served to everyone, but it was
So
just
you
like a
did the
regular
cake
sheet cake.
cutting, and then they
Yeah.
pushed it to the bag, and then they
Yeah.
brought out the cake
Sheet
that you
cake. Yeah.
the sheet cake. I've
Yeah.
heard of
So,
that a lot. I've heard about that happening a lot.
yeah. So that part actually was kind of stressful because I had issues with that vendor, and then so she mailed the cake to me in Miami for my bachelorette party. So then I'm like having to get this huge cake that's in pieces
The fake
to the
cake?
Bahamas. Yeah, the fake cake
So you
to the
traveled
Bahamas.
with your cake.
I traveled with the cake. It was a nightmare. It really was. I did not intend to do that, but that was the only way to get this cake to the Bahamas. At one point, I was almost going to open the box and give each bridesmaid one piece of the cake to carry onto the plane. That's how bad it was. And then in customs, when I got there, they made me open the box. They're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's wedding cake." So it was so stuff like that. That was one of the more stressful parts of it. Let me see what other vendors that I use. I was really on social media too much with this wedding stuff, so I used somebody to get me like name place cards that were like laser cut
The
out.
wood.
Yes.
I was gonna ask about those. She has these
So
laser cut. The names are laser cut out of pieces of wood in cursive, and they are amazing.
I loved them. I thought that they were a great touch. But when you're planning a wedding in 90 days, see, sometimes you just have to say no. And I couldn't say no. Like, there were things that I'm like, looking back, I
Did you see
love
that on
that.
Pinterest and just fell in love with it, or
Yes, I
yeah?
fell in love with it. And then I was like, I want my bridesmaids to have their name cut out in acrylic for the bachelorette party. So I was the place cards for that too. So little things like that, I would advise a bride to not get caught up in stuff like that, because in the end of the day, that will not make your day that much more amazing, but it's causing you stress, like, weeks leading up to your wedding. So if so really just focus on what's most important. People told me that all the time. I was like, yeah, whatever. This is the most important thing to me. But laser cut names were not really the most important. But so there was that vendor. But I loved those. They were beautiful.
And did you
Um,
now before you say the next one? Did you? How did you get those to the Bahamas? Did you travel with this as well?
yeah, I had the person mail them to my parents' house, and then my parents travel with them. My dad was like so freaked out. He's like, "Well, I don't want to break up." I'm like, Dad, you're stressing me out. Like, just stop. Just
Just
get on
don't
the
break
plane with
them.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. My DJ, he was highly recommended by the first wedding planner that I had engaged just to talk about what my thoughts were.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good. He asked me the kind of music I wanted. He was familiar with a lot of New Orleans songs because I think his ex-wife was from New Orleans or something like that.
Ah.
So I really enjoyed the DJ. The florist, oh my gosh, I love wildflowers, but they are so expensive. And when
Yes.
I tell you, we sent emails back and forth forever about these. There's the fact that my bridesmaid bouquets literally had like 6 roses, but they were like $50 each. I felt like that was, I don't know. I think about that. I'm like, did I make the right call? That money could have gone towards something else. I even considered them not even walking down the aisle with any flowers.
Yeah. How much were yours? Was your bouquet?
I think my bouquet was like $150. I'm like, for what? Like a couple of white roses? But that's how they do, and that's the one I don't like. That I don't like that. That's how the brides how
Yeah.
it
As
goes
soon
for
as you say
brides.
wedding, that price tag just jumps up. Oh, it's for a wedding?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah.
but I had to get super creative, so I said that I wanted the flowers that we were standing on the pier with, which actually almost all of my pictures for the actual wedding, this wedding ceremony, I don't like because it was so windy that my hair was blowing everywhere. I looked like a crazy person. And then my cousin and my cousin was taking the video, which that video came out terrible. So I just almost have to forget that he was there taking the video. Like, that obviously wasn't the most important thing to me because I would have engaged a real videographer.
Right.
And then my uncle, who was taking pictures, because at the time he didn't realize that I had engaged a photographer. Martina is the best photographer ever. If y'all have anybody needs a photographer, Martina is your person. Her prices were so reasonable. I think I just paid for her flight, her hotel, because she was living in New York, and I think I might have paid her like $500 for the pictures or something. But she was, because a lot of these wedding photographers are like $4,000, six
Yeah. Yeah.
thousand
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah. Tell me
They
about it. Mm-hmm.
they eat your entire budget. I think I spent a total of $1,300 for Martina, and she made the wedding. Like those pictures. But at the time, my uncle, I think he thought he was trying to help, but he ended up
Is he a
getting it.
photographer and he was kind of
I mean,
what?
he had a professional camera.
So he's an aspiring photographer.
Right.
Okay.
But so he was in like a lot of the close up shots in the wedding. So that's why I didn't have that many that I posted on
He
social
was in the
media.
way.
Yeah, he was. But so was my cousin. So it was just, things like that, that a lot of, I think, wedding photographers deal with people being in the way, trying to help them, but they really hurt the actual picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would tell brides to tell their photographer, if anybody's in the way of their shot, don't be afraid to tell them to get out of the way,
Hey,
no matter
you,
what.
auntie, cousin,
Right,
move.
right,
Love you,
right.
move. Look, thank
Exactly.
you. Excuse us. How did you find Martina?
I found her on Craigslist. She was looking for destination weddings. She wanted brides that were wanting she was wanting to build her portfolio of destination weddings, and so maybe that's why
That's
her
the
prices
pricing.
were
Yeah, that
low.
explains a lot.
Yeah. But she was amazing. When I tell you, I feel like I hope she doesn't listen to this vlog. I hope she does, but I hope she like doesn't listen to this
Well,
part.
I'm tagging her, so we'll
Oh,
see.
okay. Can I say?
I
I
might.
feel like
I don't have to if you don't. I don't. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we don't.
have I
We'll give her. We'll add her link into the show notes, so that
okay.
way it'll be fine.
Well, I think maybe she might be flattered. I had all the confidence in the world that Martina was going to do the best. But Martina is just this young, beautiful, thin woman with a camera. So I feel like people,
That's how they
they
are.
didn't,
That's what they are.
right.
Well, I
But
mean,
they
not the
didn't,
thin part, but yeah.
I think they expected it was going to be like this whole team of people taking pictures. And so just for Martina to take the pictures and know what she was doing, when people saw the photos, they were like, Chevita, I underestimated how good Martina was. And I was like, yeah, I know that she was amazing. I knew she was the reason why I was able to have my wedding budget not be blown out of the water, because I
Yeah.
know some people, they don't have a DJ, they don't have half the stuff that I had because they spent the money on a photographer,
Right.
and I didn't want that.
But you lucked out with that because the photos are so important, and that's kind of a gamble. Like, obviously, I'm sure you probably like looked at her work and all that stuff, but if you're spending all this money and you're putting all this effort into your things, and the flowers and the lighting and the dress and your makeup, and then someone is a garbage photographer, then
Yes,
all of
and
that was up for a waste. But the crazy thing about you guys coming together with you and Martina, it just sounds like you guys both just needed each other. She was able to help you
exactly,
with your budget and give you the photos for real, and then looking at these photos, her portfolio game shot up as soon as these photos came out.
I
They just
know.
did, because yeah, they're amazing. So you guys will see them in the show notes if you're not looking at them already.
Yeah,
But
Martina,
yeah,
she
that's
was
great.
great. I think that was my biggest necessity, and she was the person I think that pulled it all together. And sometimes I would during the wedding, because I knew that she had been to a lot of weddings, I would ask her stuff like, what do you think about this? Does this look good? Or even in the planning process, there were a few questions that I asked her because she had been to the most weddings.
Yeah.
Martina, what do you think about this? Does this flow look right to you? So I think the DJ and the photographer, those are the ones that have done the most weddings. So don't be afraid to ask them a question. Like, I think I asked my DJ, like, should I have a cigar bar, at my wedding? Because he had
Hmm.
seen it so much before, and we ultimately did not have one. Even though maybe it would have been cool, I don't know.
Do you smoke
Um,
cigars?
that was the thing. Everybody smoked cigars except for my husband. I didn't. We didn't, but like friends and stuff.
Everyone else, yeah. Could have been a
Yeah.
little something for the guests.
Yeah, but so that's why we had my wedding planner. She found, I said I wanted to have a Junkanoo band perform at the end,
I
because
was going to ask about that.
Yeah, because all New Orleans weddings at the end, they have a second line band perform, and that's when you have like a band, like a brass band doing like a local jazz song, very similar to like any carnival or
Dun,
Mardi Gras or
dun,
whatever.
dun, dun, dun,
Yes, exactly.
dun, yeah.
Look, you got your shoulders moving and everything, just thinking about it. And they have like the bride will have a umbrella. I had an umbrella. Sometimes the groom will have one, or he'll just have, a bandana or anything to wave, a napkin to wave around. So that was our version of the New Orleans second line, was to have the Bahamian Junkanoo, and so they had a similar brass band. They had a performer, like a woman performer, and she was in full costume. And I didn't tell, I only maybe told a couple of people about it. So
So it
they
was a
were shocked. It was a
surprise.
surprise. It was even a surprise to my husband. He was like, oh my
Like,
God.
yes, you paid for this.
Yes, exactly. Actually, my parents mostly paid for the wedding. My
Okay.
parents gave us about $11,000 to $12,000. And I don't come from a family where I never thought my parents would pay for my wedding because they got married at the courthouse. Then we never talked about, oh, on your wedding day we're gonna do this and this. That was never part of my growing up dialogue. But
Yeah.
I think that, I was the only child. I'm the only child, and my parents are in a, financially great place, and that was their gift. That was their gift to us, is to pay for the wedding. And
Oh.
so there were like other expenses, but for the most part, they pay for the bulk of the wedding. Um, and yeah, so that was amazing. And
Now,
that's how
when
we were
they
able to do it in 90 days, because we probably would have had to do it a year later just to like save
get the
money.
money together, yeah.
Right. And that my parents paying for the wedding was the reason why I felt okay nickeling and diming everybody, because I wanted my parents' money to stretch as far as it possibly could.
Yeah. That's great. Uh Question though, and I don't know if you can answer this, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Okay.
And it may be an easy answer. But because your parents paid for the wedding, at any point in time was there like a feeling of that they should have some say so in an influence in your wedding planning at all? That anything
No, because
outside of
wedding.
inviting their people, it seems like that was probably one of the things. Like you were inviting people
No,
for them, sort of.
no, because my parents aren't social butterflies. They aren't really into weddings. They didn't really know what was in vogue or whatever. It was just like, here's some money, do with it as you want, but once you use it all, don't ask us for any more. But that really wasn't even true, because then they were still like, here's some more money. Yeah, or, when we were in the Bahamas, I was like, can you pay for the rooms or something? Like,
Yeah.
like our room or something. I was like, they were like, yeah, whatever, because we did something like I would things that I didn't take into consideration. Like when you're in another country, you don't have your bank is not there, and you might have like a ATM limit. So take
Right.
into
You have to
consideration
take a
things
ton of
like that.
cash. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't do that, and so I'm like, okay, we had like a $500 limit or $300 limit, something ridiculous. So I'm glad that my parents were there and they were like, yeah, no problem or whatever, for stuff like that.
Oh, that's great, Chevita. That's yes. I love your parents. They're
I know.
amazing.
I was like, did y'all like secretly win the lottery and just didn't tell me?
They have been putting money aside for a long time for you. That's probably a
Yeah,
good perk of
because
being an only child too, though.
yeah, it is. But something, I don't know, that year was just magical, because then my car lease was up that later that year, and they like bought me a car as my birthday gift.
Okay, yeah, I think your
So
parents did win the lottery. They
I
did.
know. I was
But they
like, y'all just paid for our wedding, and now I'm getting a car, which is why I drive a Prius, which everybody in LA drives a Prius. So I went from leasing a BMW to just paying cash for the Prius, because I want my parents were paying for it, so I wanted to get the most cost effective car. I didn't
yeah.
want, so that's how, I feel like if someone else is helping you out, then you kind of owe it to them to try your best to make their money go as far as possible. And that was my motto, and the reason why I felt like it was okay to send 20 emails back and forth about Shivari chairs.